Chapter 10 Sri Sai Satcharita. Chapter 10 describes Baba's mode of living in Shirdi during the early days. His stay in Shirdi, his teachings, and his humility. The easiest path to achieve one's spiritual goal is to hear the glorious stories of saints and keep their company and learn life's lessons from them. Then there is the Leela of how Baba slept on a narrow plank, which he tied to the ceiling with rags. And finally, the story of Nanavali, who had the audacity to ask Baba to leave his asan, and then he sits on it and immediately repents. Now I shall narrate the above events in more detail. The Shagun manifestation of Samartha Sadguru Sri Sai Baba. Baba manifested as a young lad of 16 years under the neem tree around 1854. Then he disappeared and was seen in the far-off Nizam district, that is, Aurangabad, around 1857. He was aged 20 years and thereafter he stayed in Shirdi for a total of 60 years. He took Mahasamadhi in Shake 1840, that is 1918, in the month of Ashwin or October the 15th, 1918, on the auspicious day of Dasara. Here I would like to quote from chapter 4 of Sri Pada Sri Vallabh Charitra, the prediction of the manifestation of the young fakir. In chapter 4 of Sri Pada Sri Vallabh Charitra is described the wonderful Leela of Baba seated under the neem tree in Shirdi. Once Palni Swami, Madhava and Shankara Bhatt sat in meditation. During the meditation, Palni Swami did not have darshan of Lord Sripada. However, he saw a young fakir seated under the neem tree at Shirdi. He said, "I saw a sannyasi in the attire of a Muslim uttering Allah Malik often. He told an old person who came for his darshan, 'I am Nanak, Bandi Musalman.' To a different person, he said, 'I am a Brahmin.' To another, he said, 'This is my Guru's Sthan, and people who worship here on Thursdays and Fridays will get good luck.' Next, I shall narrate Baba's demeanor. Although Baba looked like an ordinary human being, he was tranquil and was in a state of Siddha Prajna and Sahaj Samadhi with incredible humility. Professor Narke, who observed him closely, says, Baba was living and operating in other worlds also beside this world in his invisible form. Often he would describe the distant places he went during the night, and Professor Narke asked the devotees about it and confirmed the truth that Baba was present there at that particular time to help the devotees. However, the devotees sleeping by his side were unable to comprehend it, as Baba was in the Dwarka Mai sleeping besides them. Then Dabholkar talks of the different types of gurus, and they are Nitya, or ordained by God, who impart knowledge to their disciples and give their devotees experiences of their guidance, and Anitya, not so ordained, who are scholars and who lecture about the scriptures. However, Baba was Samartha Sadguru. He was Dakshina Murti, with infinite knowledge, imparting it to his devotees in a simple manner so that they could understand it and progress on their spiritual path. Baba had a unique technique of guiding his devotees. First, like the mother tortoise, who is on one bank of the river and her little ones on the other bank, she nurtures them just with her loving glances. The next stage is like the mother cat, who carries each kitten of hers to a safe place. At this stage, the devotees may have to face adverse situations. However, the devotee has faith that Baba, like the watchful mother cat, will keep them safe. The next two stages depend entirely on the faith of the devotees. For it is like the mother monkey who jumps from tree to tree with her little one clinging to her. If for a moment the baby is inattentive and loosens the clasp, he will fall. And finally, it is like the school of fish. The mother leads and the little ones follow. If any of them change course while swimming, they go adrift. Thus, the devotee has to meticulously follow the Sadguru's words. Baba had infinite compassion. Time and again, he took the illnesses of his devotees on himself. He also gave Sadgati to Megha, Tatya Sahib Nulkar, and even an ailing tiger. This is what a Samartha Sadguru does for the welfare of his devotees. Baba had fame and wealth, renunciation and wisdom, grandeur and benevolence, along with incredible humility. His mission was to bring harmony between the Hindus and the Muslims, as these two communities were hopelessly adrift. Now I shall narrate the incredible Leela of how Baba slept on a narrow plank. Baba's wonderful bedstead. Around the year 1898, Nana Sahib Dingle of Nimgaon brought for Sai Baba a wooden plank, around 4 cubits in length and only a span in breadth, for sleeping upon. Instead of keeping the plank on the floor and then sleeping upon it, Baba tied it like a swing to the rafters of the masjid with old shreds of rags and commenced to sleep upon it. The rags were so thin and worn out that it was a problem how they could bear or support the weight of the plank itself, let alone the weight of Baba. But somehow or the other, it was Baba's sheer Leela that the worn out rags did sustain the plank with the weight of Baba on it. On the 4 corners of the plank, Baba lighted panktis, earthen lamps, one at each corner, and kept them burning the whole night. It was a sight for gods to see, Baba sitting or sleeping on the plank. It was a wonder to all how Baba got up and got down from the plank. Out of curiosity, many observers tried to watch the process of mounting and dismounting, but none succeeded. As crowds began to swell to detect this wonderful feat, Baba one day broke the plank into pieces and threw it away. Baba had all the 8 siddhis and navnidhis at his command. He never practiced nor craved for them. They came to him naturally as a result of his perfection. And finally, I will narrate the Leela of Nanavali. Shankar Narayan Ved, or Nanavali, was an ardent devotee of Baba, who, was misunderstood by many of the other devotees. There were two fractions. Some respected him, while others thought he was a troublemaker. Nanavali was like an avaduta who would do strange acts that annoyed the devotees. He would keep scorpions in his mouth or drink water from the gutter. Sometimes he would slap a devotee on the cheek, and at other times he would pick up quarrels with the other visiting devotees. Baba would then gently rebuke him, saying, "If you behave like this, the devotees will stop coming to Shirdi." Sometimes he would smear his body with dirt, which amused the children. Then, along with a group of children, he would go to the Dwarkamai and create a ruckus scene. Nanavali addressed Baba as Mama, that is, maternal uncle, as Baba loved him a lot. When Nanavali first came to Shirdi, Baba said, "Nanavali, I have put on the lock and the key is with you. Do not betray me and I will not betray you." These words convey the deep Renanabandic ties that existed between the two. He took a keen interest in keeping order in the Dwarkamai and would see to it that each and every devotee got darshan of Sai Baba. He was a well-built man. However, he had a huge hernia that almost reached the floor. Yet he would walk extremely fast or run when he chose to. Once he took Jyotindra Tarkad to the Chowdi as he wanted to show him some trick. The two went to the Chowdi and Nanavali jumped up, simultaneously reducing his size, and sat in the glass globe. He looked like a monkey sitting there. Sometimes he would tie a rag on the rear portion of his pant like a tail and put on a mask of Hanuman. He then collected the children of the village and went to the Sabha Mandap and created a lot of racket or noise. His love and devotion for Baba was no less than Hanuman's love and devotion for Lord Sri Ram. Once Nanavali came to Baba and holding him by the hand made him get up. Then he sat on the gadi for a minute or two. Then, with a great deal of respect, he made Baba sit on it again. Then he prostrated before him and said, "O Lord, only you can occupy this seat as it befits your divinity. My place is at your feet." This Leela is narrated in Sri Sai Satcharita, chapter 10. Nanavali was shattered with grief by Baba's Mahasamadhi. He felt it was futile to live any longer, as life without Baba was worthless. On the 13th day of Baba's Mahasamadhi, he cried out, "Mama, Mama," and left his mortal coil. His Samadhi is built over his body. It is next to Abdul Baba's Samadhi on the way to Lendibag. This information was taken from the live experiences of the Tarkad family. And this concludes the commentary on the chapter. Om Sai Ram.